class, we have started with the HBASE commands. So we have done some commands for using the HBASE shell in the cloud era. So moving ahead with the same topic. So we will learn more new commands, how to create the tables, and then how to insert the data. So we are going to learn about that. I'll start the HBASE shell. So we are moving towards from the cloud era, the basic terminal or the shell that we are switching over to the HBASE shell so that we can write the commands and process the data which is stored in the HBASE. So now we are learning, see, in the last class we had learned about the various types of general commands like status, version, and so many other commands like enable the tables, disable the tables, and see the list of tables, right? And after learning all those basic commands, now we are moving towards using the how to create the tables in the HBase. So moving ahead with that, we are going to create one table with the name student. So I have already created a structure of what kind of database we are going to create. So that's you can see in the list of HBase commands that have been shown over here. So we are going to create. So I'm going to create one table with the name student stud, comma, and say and in this particular table we are creating the three column families: name, age, and course. Right. So name, comma, age, comma, course. Right. So we are creating the name of the table is stud, and the three column family. See, when we create the tables in the RDBMS, we basically create the table, give the table name, and we specify the schema along with that. Here you can see we are not specifying any data type, we are not specifying any fixed schema, and we are just specifying the name of the column families. And we know since HBase is a columnar database, column-based database, so within each column family, we may have the multiple columns also. So let's begin with this. So it is showing that we have created one table successfully. We can see this particular message, right? I'll just enlarge it. Right. Now, after creating the table, what we have to do, we have to load the data into the table. So for putting the data into the table or insertion operation that we wanted to perform, that we used to do in the SQL, so we have the put and the get commands over here. So we use the put in order to load the data into the table, and we use get in order to retrieve the data from the table. So let us first, since we have created one table with the three column families, now let us first learn how to put the data in the table. So I'm using right. So I'm going to change the name of the table because it is stud, stud, right? So put to stud, stud is the name of the table. Then I have written Shikha. Shikha is a row name. So here we are, when we are inserting the data into the table, basically we specify the row and we insert the values column by column. So here you see this is the row name, and you can say or specific name for a student whose details we want to store. And then we are specifying the name. Name is the column family name, and then full name. Full name is basically the column name. And after that, we are specifying the value that will be has to be there in that particular column. So let us say we have written Shikha M, right? So when we enter, one row is inserted in this particular table, right? And then similarly, we put the, see, we have just inserted the value of one column as of now, but it has three column families, name, age, course. So we have to insert the value of the age also, we have to insert the value of the course also. So let's add these values one by one. And we have to make a change in the name of the row. Here we want to enter the date, oh sorry, Shikha only, but name of the table, sorry. So we are going to do this task in the where the table name that we have created is stored. So we are writing the age, present age, right? And then again we want to add the value in the course. And going again, see, row name is Shikha. That means this will create one complete row where we have three column families, and within each column family we have created one column, right? So here it is, third, right? So we have inserted one complete row now. Now let us create the more rows in the same table. Uh, Here we have written Shikha. Let us say we create one more row, Mona, and the name we write the. I'm writing the Mona Mishra, right? So I'm creating one more row. Then age of Mona. Let us say we write 28. Here we are going to change the name of Mona. Of this capital is small, right? Then we are going to add the value of the course. So let us say we write it into PHP, and again we are writing Mona, right? So we have inserted the records over here using the pet command. So we basically have created two records. One is for the Shikha and one is for the Mona. So this is how here you can see we have done all this particular task. Now we want to get the data. Since we have inserted the data, we want to get the data. So after the insertion, the next data is to retrieve. So whose data let us say we just write get table name is STUD. Here you see. Oh, wait, what I've done. Comma, SHITH. Here you see. See, I have specified that I want to have the complete details about from the student table. I want to know the details of the student Shikha, or you can say my row is Shikha. So for the same, I have specified the row name, that is Shikha. Similarly, if I want to have the details of Mona, so it is giving me the details of the Mona. Here you can see for the Shikha, the value of age is equal to 24, value of course is Hadoop, and its full name is Shikha M. Then similarly, you can see for the Mona. So this is one complete record. But while inserting, so we are not inserting the data row wise, we are inserting the data into the table column wise, right? So this is how we insert the data into this particular table, that is when we are working with the HBASE, right? So now where we have seen how to get the data for a particular, see this is for a particular row whose name was Shikha, for a particular row, another row whose name was Mona. Then let us say we just want to have one detail, that is we just want to have the value of one column family. So what we have to do is we simply have to add that particular column. So let us say I add age. So it is going to give me only the details of the age only. So for that particular column family. Then similarly, if we want to know the details of the course, you simply change the value. So it is up to you. So how precise you know that how much data you want. So this basically it is not it's going to help you reduce your processing time if you already know that you just want to know the course details of this particular student. So rather than retrieving all the details from the database, because we know when we are retrieving the database, and so if you fetch all the columns or you fetch, you can say the single column data, so all this requires a processing time. So we can reduce this processing time by being precise that since we just want to know about the course in which the student has taken, so we are just retrieving that particular data only, right? So now let us say if you want to change the name of the course, so let us alter the data. If you want to make a change in the course, So we had when we were using the put command. So here we simply we write rather than PHP, I write Hadoop, right? So it has updated the data. Now if I see the details of Mona symbol, and you can see if you see over here now age is same, but the course that the Mona is pursuing is now changed from earlier it was PHP if you see on the top, and now it is Hadoop. So a very simple way you can make all the changes, and you see the way you are writing everything. So you're using HBase, you are get rid of all the complications that you had to face when you had to work with directly with the Hadoop. You had to write the complete Java programs, or you need not learn the hive or pig statements. So working with you can say your HBase, it is far more simpler as compared to the other storage. You can say other ways of managing the data in the Hadoop, right? So moving ahead, let us learn a few more commands. So all these commands that we have covered, and now let us move ahead. Yes, the scan command. So now if you want to see the details of all the data, so complete details you want to know, scan, simple student, CUD. So here you can see now all the two records. So the number of records that you have is two basically. We have two rows. So just try to understand that data is being stored column wise, but actually we have stored only two columns. One is the column for Mona, where we have stored where we have three column families and three columns basically, age, course, and name. Similarly, we have another row for the Shikha, and but the way it is showing is because all the data is being stored in the form of columns. So here you can see it is showing the row on the top headers. You can see over here. So it is showing that it is a row, and it is showing it is the column plus cell. That means the name of the column and the cell value over there. So we say the column is age. Age is basically the column family. Within the column family, we have the your particular column which is named as present age. And then see, I told you all the data that is being stored in the HBase is with the help of timestamps, which helps these timestamps basically helps in maintaining the versions of the data. So from the timestamp, you can identify whether this is when this was created or when it was modified, right? So the timestamp will change accordingly. So let us see if this is Hadoop. This is 32328, and we had created that Hadoop 1 minute 24. Where is Mona? See the difference in the timestamp. Here it is. So 15556. So if you make a further change into that, let us say we Hadoop, rather than Hadoop, let us write Spark, and now again let us scan. Again we can see there is Spark. Yes. So again there is a change in the timestamp. Right? So from the timestamp, you can make a change. You can compare your data that which is this particular version of the data that is being that you are shown. So different versions are being maintained over here so that the user may know that when the changes are made. So for every change that you make, the timestamp will be updated, and that timestamp will indicate that whenever that particular change was made. Right? So. Let us another way to make a change in the, let us say you want to change the full name of Shikha from or the full name of the Mona, or you make any change over there, simple as we have done over there. So you just have to make a small change, like here we made a small change in the your course. Similarly, you can make any change in the your name. You can make a change in the age. You can make any change anywhere whenever you require, right? And now let us say if you want to delete a particular column family. So let us delete one column family, and see we can do that using the command that is known as alter. So alter stud dot comma delete. What we are going to delete is age. See, now since we have deleted, we are making a change in the schema, and making a change in the schema requires changes to be made in the regions, because all the data what we see over here is we are creating the tables, but ultimately the data is being stored in the form of files, which is stored with the regional servers. So that's why when we are making some changes, it is showing that the changes are being made in the schema in the regional servers. Therefore, the regions are being changed. So wherever the data is stored ultimately, because at the back end, the Hadoop is working, and you can say at the HBASE, we know in the master slave architecture, the data is ultimately stored by the regional servers. So so whatever region is being stored in the regional server, all the changes needs to be made over there. So now let us again see, let us get, so here you can see now the age. Here you can see, so now we are left only with the two columns. So the age column family is deleted from the table itself. So all the data related to that has been deleted from from the complete table, from both the rows, right? So this is how basically we create the tables, and we may delete a column family over there and make all such changes wherever we require when we are working with the HBase. So this is how you will be working with the HBase. And then few more commands. Similarly, there are certain other changes, various kinds of alterations that we can do. This is all we have already done. So let us see few more commands. 1 minute. Put we have done, scan we have done, right? So get we have already done, delete and delete all. So we have a delete all command which can be used to delete all cells in the given row. So if you want to delete all the cells from the given row, you can directly see using the alteration we were deleting a column family. So for using the alter command, what we have done, we have deleted a particular column family from the table. Now if you want to delete the complete row from this particular table, you can use the delete all name of the table, and then you have to specify the row name. So let us do this manipulation also. Delete all STUD, and then we have to specify, let us say we delete one. Right now again, let us say scan. See over here, we are left with one row only, that is Shikha. The row for the Mona is completely deleted from our table. So using the delete all, we can delete the complete row with all the columns it has. Then we have the truncate table. So after the truncate of an HBase table, the schema will be present but not the report. So that means if I truncate this table, I will be only left with the schema, but no report. The values, all the values will be deleted from here. So disable table, if it already basically the command this command perform three functions. One is it disables table if it already present, drops the table if it is already present, and recreates the mentioned table. So basically it will be removing all the records, but again the table will remain over there. Then 1 minute. This is all we have done. Okay, so let's move ahead. Few filter commands that we are going to see. Uh, yes. Can the count is basically used to see the count of all the records which are there in a particular table. So here we can simply write count STUD. So we have one row, so it is giving a count of one. If we have multiple rows, let us see if some other table is given. So the student table has two records. Let us see if we have more tables. EMP2, but the table does not exist maybe. Let us say what are the tables available. So we have EDU, employee, EMPS, JIT, MP, JIT. Let us EMP, EDU. Are there any records? No records in the table. Then let us see if there are any more records in any other table. Uh, Student we have already seen. JIIT. No records over there, only schemas are present. So using the count, you can find out the number of records which are there in this particular table. And then what we have is filters. So when we are reading the data from the HBASE using the get and skin definition, we can use along with the get and set, we can use the custom filters so that we are able to get a subset of the results. This is like your where clause that you used to use in the SQL. So where you are specifying the condition when you want certain precise results, and here we call them as the filters. So basically these filters, they are not going to reduce the server side input output, but it does reduce the network bandwidth and the amount of data the client needs to process. So the various types of filters, in the yesterday class, we had used this command of show filters. So this show filters, when we use it, shows what all filters are available. So it is a complete list, which is it is showing that the various filters which are present over here. So let us see a few of these filters one by one. So one is the first filter is your prefix filter. So this filter will take one argument, like here it is given. So we are using scan airline. Airline is the name of the table. And then in the airline table, what we want to do is we want to see the data of row 2 only. So what we have applied, so prefix row 2, right? After that, whatever is there. So filter takes the prefix of a row key. So we are giving the row key as a prefix, right? So here, and how do we write the filters? We use the curly braces filter. Then this is a simple, here we are seeing, you must have observed. So in the HBASE, we are not using equal to. We are using the symbol in order to indicate the value that is to be checked. So it returns only those keys values present in the row that starts with a specified row prefix. So let us say my row prefix is, there are multiple names which start with the SH. So it will show all the records which starts with the SH. So let us say, you can say if you want to see all the records of R, all the records of RAS, whatever you want to see. So you can use this prefix filter. So it will show you all the records, all the rows with that particular prefix. Then we have key only filter. So this filter doesn't take any arguments. It only returns only the key part of every key value. So whatever key and values are available, it will only show the keys of that. So here you can see the name, expiry, expiry. It is only showing for all the rows. It is showing only the keys, but no values are being shown over there. Value column, you can see that is blank. Then we have the column prefix filter. So this will take one argument, a column prefix. So in the previous one, we had given the row prefix. So prefix filters takes row key as an argument. Here the column prefix filter takes the column prefix as an argument. So it returns only those key values present in a column that starts with the specified column prefix. So you can say it must be of the form qualifier. So scan airline filter, here we are specifying the prefix filter row 2, and so here you can see we have applied two filters over here. So all the rows which start with the row 2 and which have a column prefix filter destination. So it is showing all the values for the column prefix which starts with a destination, and there is one row that is being shown over here. So here, let us say this is another example where we have the data. So we have the name and the expiry where we are showing the bulk table. So we have used a scan in order to show the data that is being stored, right? So you can say this is name, experience, name, experience, name, experience, that is being specified over here. So now scan bulk table filter, which is prefix filter 3, right? So prefix filter, it is showing that means we are talking about the row 3, and the column prefix filter is name. So you can see it is showing the from the row it has picked up that particular column whose value is Jatin. So prefix filter is looking at the row, and the column prefix is looking at the column name and the same column name. So we are being shown this particular value. So similarly, you can apply rather than using the name, you can also specify the column number. Here you can see scan bulk table filter is column count get filter, right? Column count get filter 0, so it is the 0 rows, and for the column count get filter 1, so this is the column 1. For column 1, how many? That means we have 1, 2, 3, 4. All have the 4 columns, and they are showing the value of. You can say the 4 rows are having the column 1, and their values are being shown. Similarly, that over here it is being showing the count of all the columns. Column count get filtered too, so it is showing all the values. The complete data is being shown over here. Now, value filter. This filter takes a compare operator. Basically, it is used for the comparison, and the comparator, it compares each value with the comparator using the compare operator, and if comparison returns true, it returns key value. So scan airline column flight between. So here you can see we are using, this is like the creating the basically the where clause into the your HBASE commands. So we are using column flight between source limit is 4, and filter value filter is binary prefix Hyderabad HYD. So it is showing row 1, which is where the flight between source and the value is Hyderabad, and then we have another one which is also having the Hyderabad. So from the complete data, that is complete table airline, we are able to identify where the between. See, between a flight between is basically your column family name, source is the column, so its limit is 4, so it is showing all the records, and then it is also showing the value where the binary prefix is Hyderabad, or you can say HYD. So it has shown all the records which were existing over there. And we have specified the limit that we want to see only the 4 records, right? So scan bulk table column CF2, experience limit 3, filter value, which is binary prefix is 5, so it is being shown over here. So similarly, we have shown the two, you can say two examples are being shown over here. Here we are specifying the, we are using the value filter. So we specify the value filter over there, and we can see the results accordingly. Then we want rows of a table patient analytics where patient gender is named. So again, we are applying the filter where we are, what we are using, the same value filter we are using. So where the patient gender is male, we have specified binary where the value is male. Similarly, to scan a specific column for a substring, you can do. So what you can do, we want to check out the some value which contains a particular substring my value. So you can also specify that in the value filter. Then along with that, what you can do, you can use a multiple column prefix filter. So this will take a list of column prefixes, return the key values that are present in the column that starts with any of the specified column prefixes. So here you can see we have used scan, airline filter, multiple column prefix filter, source, destination, date. So it means if it is having any of the columns, they will be shown over here. So you can say the row 1, the column is flight between, that is destination. Then we have the second one is row 1 is source. Then the third one we have the value Hyderabad. Then we have date, time, right? So all the columns. So here we are not specifying a single column. We are specifying multiple columns. So multiple column values also we can show, or you can say filter out from the storage of the HBase. So which is showing the using the filter that is multiple column prefix filter. Then we have the family filter. So it takes again the comparison operator and the column family to be compared as input. So here we are saying there we were comparing the columns, and now we are comparing the column family rather than comparing the column. So scan patient analytics filter, family filter. So because we are talking about column family, we are not talking about column filter. So you can compare the column families also, and you can scan the data from there. Then we have the row filters for if you want to take the apply the comparison operator on the row key as input, and it will return all the columns with the specified row key. So we have also prefix filter also we have used. So but here we are using the row filter where we are showing the value of the row, that is a underscore one. So row column plus cell. So it is all the data with that particular row column has been specified over here. So that's all with your HBASE.